Good morning, my friends.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. I hope you are all well.
Yes. Miss, today is the quiz or tomorrow?
No, sweetie, it's tomorrow, inshallah.
Tomorrow we have quiz.
Yes, we
Yes.
have quest tomorrow, guys. Um, and of course, you know that those who are online, like they signed for the online system, you will join us at the same time of the quiz, okay? But you will join us with the Zoom, okay? So let me show you guys the date of the quiz and
Tomorrow.
the hour. Yes, it's tomorrow. We still have Muaz. He's trying to join me in, but I hope he's joined in. Okay, guys, so we'll have it on chapter 1, lesson 1, how are living things classified. It will be at 10:35. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Yes, of course, you will join us with Zoom. When you join us by Zoom, I will send you guys the link for the quest so you can join us. Okay? And
Miss,
do not
use
worry about the time. We have a whole session to finish the quiz, so you have plenty of time. Yes?
yes.
Yes?
No. Will we use the paper or choose for mobile?
No, so it will be online, so you only need your iPad to be fully charged or your laptop
Yes.
to be fully charged. That's it. You do not need to
Miss,
have anything. It will be.
miss, but tomorrow we will go to the class.
Miss.
Yes, Habibi, those who are who signed, I'm sorry, for physical system, you will have it on papers. But those who are online, they will have it, not written. Like they will not have a paper with it.
Okay.
Okay, do you guys get it now? I hope you do get it now. Okay, any other questions, guys?
Oh.
Okay. So I hope you
No.
have plenty of questions today.
Miss, we have a quiz on chapter 1, lesson 1 only.
Yes, chapter 1, lesson 1 only. And today we will have a revision
Miss,
session. Yes?
Okay.
will we take it online or physical?
Well, if you are an online student, you will take it online. If you are a physical student, you will take it in the class.
Okay. Thank you.
You are more than welcome. Okay. You guys are more than welcome. So let's start our revision. This is, as we said, chapter 1, lesson 1. I hope you guys have plenty of questions. If you still need any questions, like any time of the day, you can send it to me. Do not hesitate to do so. Okay? Okay, guys?
Okay.
Okay. Of course, you'll find study sheet, you'll find a worksheet. You can also use your book, your textbook to study. Now you are fully ready if you studied from those three things. If you studied from your book, your study sheet, and your worksheet. So you are totally fine with the quiz, inshallah. Okay, and do not worry about time, guys. Inshallah, you will have plenty of time for both the online system students and also for the physical system students. Okay. Okay, so before we start, we have important definitions to remember together. We have organism. Organism means all living things or any living things. So we call any living thing an organism. A plant is called an organism. A human being is an organism. Any type of animal is an organism. Even the microscopic organisms. Yes?
Will we take the quiz online only or online and physical?
Well, Lyanne, will you come to the school tomorrow?
Yes.
Yes, when you come to the school, you will have it in the school, like physically, with paper and everything.
Okay, thank you.
You are most welcome. Those who are signing online, like Rugmini, for example, she's an online system student. Like, right, Rugmini? You signed for online system. Yes, so she's online system student and Muhammad also. So both of them will have the same quiz at the same time, but they will have it online. So no, now I hope you guys understand what I mean. So both of you guys, the physical and the online students, will have the same quiz at the same time, but some people will join us with Zoom and others will have it physically, like with paper and pen and everything. Okay? Okay, guys, do you get it now?
Yes.
Yes, and can you hear me well? I hope you can hear me well.
Yes.
Okay. So back to what we were saying, organism, guys, any living thing, even the microscopic organisms, we call them microscopic because they are too small to be seen with the eyes only. We need to use microscope to see them. Okay. We also have a new definition, which is bacteria. And bacteria is a one-celled organism, so it's made up of only one cell, okay, but does not have nucleus in it. It lacks nuclei, which means it does not have any nucleus in it. Okay? And protists, those are the unicellular organisms that actually have nucleus. Yes, Jumana, you raised your hand.
Miss, I don't like understand protest.
Okay, sweetie, when we come to this part, we will explain it again. If you still have any problem, you can ask me again, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you are most welcome, sweetie. So back to our PowerPoint to make things more clear, okay? We have here again, we have millions and millions of organisms. You now guys know what an organism means. And in order to study them, because we have plenty of living things, right? We needed to put them into groups. We needed to classify them, okay? Classify, this is a very important word because you guys learned later in the lesson 2 and lesson 3 about classification, which means putting similar animals into or similar organisms into groups. That will make it a lot easier for us to study them. Okay, so in order to study the living things, we had to put them into groups. So we have a kingdom for many of them. Okay, we have kingdom for plants only, we have kingdom for animals only, we have kingdom for fungi like mushrooms, we have kingdom for bacteria. Bacteria has its own kingdom, and that's because bacteria do not have nucleus, if you guys remember. Okay, we have a kingdom for other microscopic organisms that we call protists, Joanna. Okay, protists stands for the other microscopic organisms. They are not bacteria, but they are still microscopic. We cannot see them with our own eyes. We'll go to this later, sweet. So if you still have any questions, then you can still ask me. Okay, so at first they tried to classify these organisms or these living things by how they got food. Well, we have two groups now. We have animal kingdom and plant kingdom. Plants make their own food and animals hunt for their food. Right? But that was totally wrong because we had other organisms, or the scientists found out that other organisms cannot belong to animals or plants. They cannot belong to either, like fungi, for example. Okay, fungi, they look like plants, they stand still, right? They look like plants, but they cannot make their own food like plants. And they do not hunt for other organisms or for the food like animals. So we had to put them in their own kingdom. So guys, you now know why do we have so many kingdoms, right? Because
Yes.
because the scientists discovered that there are organisms that cannot be classified neither with animals nor with plants. They cannot be classified with either of them.
Miss Noha,
Yes, Layan.
How do fungi get their own food?
Yes, sweetie. Well, they absorb the food from the remaining of dead plants and animals.
Okay.
Okay, so they grow over the dead plants and animals. For example, if there's a part, if you guys like been to a forest before or something, you will find some mushrooms. Yani they are, growing on a tree, for example, because they are not growing on a tree to make their own food. No, but they are growing on the tree because they are absorbing the nutrients from it. So fungi actually absorb the nutrients they need from the dead plants and animals, or the remaining dead plants and animals. Okay?
So they don't kill?
Yes, sweetie?
So they don't hunt?
No, they cannot move. They stand still like plants. That's why we could not put them with the animals, because they cannot hunt for their food. So scientists decided to put them into their own group. That's why we have kingdom fungi for them. We have a whole kingdom for fungi. Okay? Okay, guys, do you get this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Um, Also, of course, the scientists then discovered that there are plenty of other organisms, but they cannot be seen by our naked eyes. And that's what we called microscopic organisms. Microscopic organisms. And those are the organisms that we cannot see with our own eyes. We need microscope for that. Remember? So
Yes.
after inventing the microscope, they found out other microscopic organisms. Okay? So we have, as we said, millions and millions of microscopic organisms. Can we study them like that? No, it will be hard for us to study them like that. So we had to put them into groups also. We had to classify them. Okay? So all of them are made up of one cell, right? So we call them one-celled organisms, but they are totally different because we found that bacteria do not have nucleus in them. How can we put them with other microscopic organisms that have nucleus in them? We cannot put them in the same group. That's why we put bacteria in its own group. And the other group, Jumana, for the other microscopic organisms that have nucleus, we call them protists. Again, we call them protists. Okay, sweetie?
Okay.
Okay, Jumana, I hope you get this one. But we will talk more
Yeah, thank
about
you.
it later. We'll talk about it more later. Okay, so at the last, guys, the scientists decided to classify the animals up to their cells, how their cells look like. And that's why we have to study the two types of cells, if you guys remember, and learn about the cell. What is a cell? It's the building block of all living organisms. Remember? It builds all the living organisms. Some of them are unicellular, which means they are made up of only one cell, like bacteria and protists. Others are multicellular, which means they are made up of many cells, like humans, for example. We are built up of millions and millions of cells, right? Right,
Yes.
guys? Yes.
Yes.
And in order for us to call it living organisms, they must do life 7 process, if you guys remember. They must move, they must breathe, they must sense if it's cold or hot, they must grow up, they must give birth or lay eggs, they must do excretion or get rid of the waste, like peeing and pooping and sweating and all of these things. They must also get food. So we summarized all these life process into Mrs. Gren, if you remember. Mrs. Gren. Okay, M for movement, R for respiration, means breathing. S for sensitivity, feeling heat or feeling cold. Growing, for G for growing new cells even, if we want to fix damaged cells. R here stands for reproduction, which means giving new babies. E for excretion, which means, as we said, getting rid of wastes like peeing, pooping, and other things. And also sweating is a waste. We sweat, that means we get all the poison out from our body, and also to actually have a healthy body temperature. So when it's very hot outside, our body starts sweating to keep our temperature down. So if we have a higher body temperature, we will actually get sick. Breathing out carbon dioxide. When we breathe out carbon dioxide, that's another type of waste we get rid of. Plants also breathe out oxygen, if you guys remember, and that's also a type of excretion. The last but not least are nutrition, or N that stands for nutrients, or having nutrients. All living things need to have food, right? Plants make their own food, but they still get food because it's very important, because without food we cannot have energy to do the rest of the life process. Without food we'll not be able to breathe well, to walk well, to make new cells or grow in a healthy way. Okay, that's just an idea for you guys. So as we said, the scientists decided to classify the plants, the animals and the plants and all the living organisms by their cells. So we ended up with two types of cells. Can you guys tell me, plant cell and animal cell? Do you guys remember any of them?
I remember all. Hello?
That's amazing. Yes, remember all. That's
Forgot
nice.
them.
Yes. Okay, they share a lot of things. The plant cell and the animal cell share a lot of things together. Okay, for example, they share a cell membrane, which is
And
like a
nucleus.
doorway. It, gets controls what goes in and out of the cell. If you guys remember, both of them share
And nucleus.
nucleus, and nucleus is the brain of the cell, the control center of the cell. It controls everything in the cell. And they also share cytoplasm. And cytoplasm, guys, remember, plasm means liquid. So the cytoplasm is the jelly-like liquid that keeps the cell healthy. Okay? Let's look at each part in here. Yes? Yes, some of you guys are calling me.
Yes, I'm Leanne. In the plant cell, where is the cell wall and where's the cell membrane?
Well, sweetie, if you looked at this picture in the previous picture, the yellow one, the one with the yellow color, this is cell membrane. The one with the green color surrounding the cell membrane, this is the cell wall. So the cell wall for the plant cell is the most outer layer, okay? It's the layer that surrounds everything, surrounds the cell membrane, nucleus, and everything. But if you looked at the animal cell, you will find only a cell membrane surrounding the cell. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yes. So we have two people raising their hands. Let me see who are raising. Yes, we have Abdulrahman Karim. Yes, Abdulrahman.
They also share mitochondria.
Yes, they share also mitochondria. That's right, Abdulrahman. We were just going to say that. Thank you so much, Abdulrahman. Yes, Muhammad, you raised your hand.
Miss, I don't understand the animal cell.
You don't understand the animal cell?
The part of it. One part, the vacuum.
The vacuum?
I don't know.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. We will talk about this now. Anyway, we're having a whole revision about lesson 1 because you guys are having a quiz tomorrow. Okay, so no one else is raising their hands. Let's move to the animal cell for Muhammad. That's what we were going to talk about. My PowerPoint's not moving. Okay. Here is the animal cell, Muhammad. Okay, so the animal cell, as we said, we have the cell membrane, which is the outer layer that surrounds the cell. Okay, It works as a doorway. You can see holes in it, guys. I hope you can see the holes in it. Can you see the holes? It contains holes. Can you see them?
Yes.
Yes, these holes are like doorways. They control what goes in and out of the cell. That's why when we say, what does a cell membrane do? We say it controls what goes in and out of the cell and also keeps everything inside, keeps everything surrounded. Imagine if the cell does not have a cell membrane. It will be a mess. Like each cell will have, its organelles in the other cell's area. Imagine your class without walls. That will be a messy thing, right? So it's the same idea. We have nucleus, which is the brain of the cell. It controls everything in the cell, even reproduction, producing new cells, for example, because we need new cells to grow up, right? We need new skin cells, for example. So nucleus is the one that's controlling that. It's the brain of the cell, as we learned before. Last but not least, the cytoplasm, which is the jelly-like liquid in the in the cell that keeps the cell healthy. Okay, let's move to the animal cell. You asked about vacuole, right, Muhammad?
Yes.
Yes, Muhammad, you asked about the vacuole. Okay, so vacuoles are so small in the animal cell, so that's why they are not really shown, like you cannot see them most of the time. So guys, please stop drawing on the screen. So those who draw on the screen, please take it off. Okay, so both cells, Muhammad, they both have vacuole, but you can see one big vacuole in the plant cell, as you can see. One big vacuole. It's so obvious. Actually, it makes the plant cell really distinguished. Yani you can actually know if it's a plant cell or an animal cell with its vacuole. Okay? What does a
Okay.
vacuole do? What does a vacuole do? It's like a fridge, okay? Like a refrigerator, guys. It stores food, water, and wastes in it. So you can imagine the waste, like the leftovers of the food. So the wastes of the cell are stored in the vacuole with the food and the water. So again, what does a vacuole do? It's like a storage place, stores food, water, and wastes. And it's found in both. But there is one big vacuole in the plant cell and many small vacuoles in the animal cell. They also share mitochondria, like Abdulrahman said. And mitochondria are those bean-shaped structures. Those are very important because without them, we cannot turn food into energy. Do you know that?
Miss,
So
Miss,
those
can I,
are the ones that are responsible for turning the food into energy. Yes?
mitochondria is a chemical reaction that releases energy.
Yes, it does a chemical reaction that releases energy. That's right, Muhammad. Do you know that it does this chemical reaction along with oxygen? Without
I know.
oxygen, it cannot do that. So yes, that's right. Thank you, sweetie. Of course, oxygen in not in plants, but in other organisms. Yes, Reem, will you raise your hand?
Miss, I do not understand chloroplast.
Yes, sweetie. You,
Chloroplast, I do not understand.
yes, guys, we just started the revision. So wait, please, have some patience. We will move to this part. Yes, Reem, we'll move to that part. Okay, guys, so they also share mitochondria, as we said, and mitochondria helps releasing the energy, okay, or turning food into energy, okay? Now let's move to the extra two things that are found in the plant cell. The plant cell make its own food for plants, right? Because plants make their own food using sunlight. Remember, photosynthesis, remember that. Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
Yes, so plants need to make their own food. That's why they have extra organelle in them, like Reem said, which we call chloroplast. We call it again, huh? Chloroplast. Yes. Let me show it to you guys in here.
Chloroplast makes the energy.
Let me show it to you guys in here. Yes, that's chloroplast. Can you see it? The green structure in here. So the chloroplasts carry a uh, uh, um, chemical subject or chemical object, which we call chlorophyll, okay? And chlorophyll is actually green. It's a green substance, okay? That's why chloroplasts look green. And this one is responsible in absorbing the sunlight. It takes in the sunlight so plants can make their own food, okay? Plants, guys, make their own food by photosynthesis. If you remember, when they get the sunlight, the carbon dioxide from the air, and the water from the soil, right? So how can they get the energy from the sunlight in? With chloroplasts. So chloroplasts carry a chemical or green chemical, which we call chlorophyll, that absorbs the sunlight. It takes in the sunlight, so it can help the plant make its own food. So do you get it now, sweetie?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Reem, do you get it now?
Miss, I have a question.
Yes, just give me a minute, Muhammad. Reem, do you get what you asked for now?
Yes.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Yes, Muhammad?
Miss, the quiz is gonna be is
It's gonna be what?
it gonna be easy?
Well, Muhammad, if you studied well, it will be easy, yes. If you
I
studied
studied.
well, yes. So you guys need to study well. And I know you guys, grade 4, mashallah, you are up to the challenge. The challenge. Do not worry about this. Do not worry about the quiz. I know you will guys, inshallah, get full marks, all of you. Just need to stick to the rules, study from your textbook, study from the study sheet, and also you have a worksheet. So you can do the worksheet again. Okay, back to the plant cell. The plant cell also has extra protection, which we call the cell wall. Layan asked about the cell wall. Now, Layan, you can see the cell wall, I hope. It's the outermost layer of the cell. It protects the cell and gives it its shape. Protects the cell and gives it its shape, supports it. Okay? And now you can see the cell membrane. Can you see the cell membrane?
Yes.
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 It does the same job in both cells. It controls what goes in and out of the cell and keeps everything inside the cell. You can guys see the vacuole in here. It's a storage place, as we learned. The nucleus, the brain of the cell, and last but not least, the cytoplasm. And of course, we have extra things like Abdurrahman said. We have the mitochondria that helps the cell make energy from the food. Okay, guys? Okay, it's very important, guys, to study this picture you have in your study sheet. It includes every organelle where it's found, whether it's found in the plant cell and the animal cell, or whether it's found in the plant cell only, but not in the animal cell, and what does it do, okay? It's important, guys, for you to read this one. You'll find here vacuole is found in both and stores food and water, okay? Okay. Back to the PowerPoint. Guys, you can of course found this PowerPoint also on the SMS. You can study from this one too.
Okay.
But you need your study sheet because the cells are not included in this PowerPoint. Okay. Why are plants and fungi separated again? Why do we have them in different kingdoms? Can someone tell me?
Me.
Yes, Muhammad?
Because plants make their own food, and fungi look like plants but don't behave like them.
Yes, so they
to
cannot
absorb
make their own
nutrients,
food.
Yes, absorbs nutrients from
Yes,
other, not
living
make their
things.
own. Yes.
That's right, Muhammad. Yes, that's right. Thank you so much, sweetie.
Mm.
Okay, Abdurrahman Karim, do you have any questions? No, so I think not. You're just raising your hand. Okay. Now, guys, back to the single-celled organisms, or the organisms that are made up of only one cell, okay? And not because they are microscopic, that does not mean that they cannot have food. No, they need food, they need water, they get rid of waste, they even reproduce, which means make new babies or offsprings, okay? And they also grow. So they do all the living process we learned about, okay? We have, for example, algae, which looks like plants, but some of them act like plants, like they make their own food. They have chloroplasts, okay? Others do not have chloroplasts, so they need to hunt, like amoeba, for example. It hunts for its food. This microscopic organism, guys, we're seeing here, this one hunts for the food. Can you imagine that? Okay, one thing that all the organisms have, or all the one-celled organisms share, is the cell membrane. Some of you guys will say, Miss, it could be nucleus, like all microscopic organisms have nucleus. This is a big wrong thing, because bacteria, guys, do not have nucleus. Yes, that's right. That's why they have their own kingdom. So what is the one thing that all microscopic organisms share? It's cell
Cell
membrane.
membrane.
Yes, that's right.
Right.
Okay. Now, we need to study the microscopic organisms. In order to study the microscopic organisms, we put them into two groups. We put them in the bacteria group, of the kingdom for bacteria, and we also put them in the other group, Jumana, the one that you asked about, which is protists. Let's talk about each one now. Let's talk about each one. Let's start with bacteria. And bacteria is really, really big group. Like it contains many species or many bacteria or organisms. Okay, so in order to also study them, we had to classify them. So how can we group them? We group them by shape. Some of them root shaped, they look like this picture in here. Others look like balls, like those, and some of them are spiral, like they have spiral shape. Okay, they can also live individually, like one bacteria living by its own, or they can live in pairs, like each two together, or they can be found in colonies, like with bigger numbers. And colonies actually can be seen with the naked eyes, guys. We can see the colony with our own eyes because that's many and many bacteria, like a lot of bacteria. That's why we can see them with our own eyes. Okay, millions and millions of them. But of course, we cannot see the individual one. Okay, so bacteria live everywhere. We can find them in cold places and hot places. Some of them are bad bacteria, cause disease or cause sickness for living organisms. Others are useful or good bacteria that help us, like digest our food, breaking down the food in our body. Okay, do you guys have any questions about bacteria?
No. Miss,
Okay.
Miss, is it coming in the quiz that says name three shapes of bacteria?
Yes, you can have it in the quiz. Yes, you can have this question in the quiz. How do we group bacteria?
Yes.
Yes, you can have it. You have this PowerPoint on the SMS, so you can guys study it too. Yeah, you can use it. You have your textbook. Do not forget about that. Okay. Now let's move to the other group of, to another group of microscopic organisms, which we call protists. And protists contain many microscopic organisms. Some of those microscopic organisms, like the algae, act like plants, which means they make their own food by photosynthesis. Okay? Okay, guys? Others hunt like other animals, and we call those protozoans, like diatoms and like dinoflagellates, for example. Can you see, guys? Can you see this organism hunting another microorganism? This is amoeba, by the way. This is the one we were just talking about. So, to make this up, now we know that protists are the microscopic organisms other than bacteria. They are not bacteria, so they have nucleus in them. We have two groups of protists. We have the algae, the group that act like plants, make their own food, and we have protozoans that act like animals. They need to gather the food, to get the food. Okay? Okay, guys? So these do not have chloroplasts. This type of protists do not have chloroplasts because they hunt for their food. We call them protozoans. Okay? So here's the question which was just saying, what do all one-celled organisms have? They have cell membrane. They all share a cell membrane. Okay, guys, do you have any questions about this part? Jumana, do you now get the protists? Do you get them? Yes, Jumana, do you still have a problem with them?
No.
Okay, so you guys have any questions? I hope you have at least one question.
Miss, I studied.
That's very good. Yes, I know, guys. You are amazing, actually. I know you studied and I know you're up to this quiz. And inshallah, all of you guys will get the full mark, inshallah. Okay? So you guys have any questions? You have the worksheets. You can do the worksheets again. You will find the model answer for the worksheets on the SMS also. Okay? About the project, guys, we still have less than 2 minutes. About the project, okay? So you guys studied about animal classification, like different types of animals. So I need each one of you guys to make a video talking about this animal. Like, is it reptile? Is it a vertebrate? Is it invertebrate? What type of vertebrate is it? Is it reptile, mammal, fish? What is it? So we can make a video talking about that. But if you do not want to make a video, make a summary with your handwriting talking about this animal, of course, with pictures, okay? With pictures of this animal. Okay, guys, so you have two options.
Miss
Yes,
Noha,
Hamza.
what is
Yes,
the
yes, Hamza. Yes, Hamza.
Miss, when is the day for the project?
Yes.
what's the deadline? What is
When
the
The
was
deadline will be next Thursday.
Okay,
Not this Thursday, the next one. So you have
Miss,
almost 2 weeks.
the
You
people
guys
who
have
will go for the
Thank
people who go to school, will they
yes.
also do a video?
If you want to make a video, yes, you can make a video, of course. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, if you do not want to make a video, of course, make a video and send it to me. You can send it on Messenger, you can send it on WhatsApp, whatever, wherever you want, guys. Just send me the video. It must be less than 5 minutes, not more than 5 minutes. It could be less than 5 minutes if you want. If you don't want to make a video, write the summary, but with your handwriting, guys. Don't write it on the computer. Write it with your handwriting, with your name, of course, on the title, and you can stick pictures of the animal you're talking about. So you can talk about it. Is it a vertebrate? Is it an invertebrate? What's so special about this animal, for example? Okay, guys?
Miss, I have one question.
Yes, Muhammad. We have less than a minute, so we need to hurry up. Yes.
Okay, Miss, can I get a chance and get and print 2 pictures of my
Yes,
my
and
animal?
hold it in the video. Yes, you can do that. Yes, you can actually have a picture of the animal while you are talking in the video. If you want to make a video, you can have a picture of the animal in your hand and talk about this animal. Okay, guys, I will put I'll put all the details on the SMS for you. So we have 2 options. You guys have 2 options. You can make a video holding a picture of the animal you're talking about whether it's vertebrate, invertebrate, what type of vertebrate is it, what type of invertebrate is it, so what is so special about this animal, or you can write a summary with one page only, Okay, you can take a picture of the animal, of course, and write one page about this animal. Okay, what's so special about it? You can give me the summary, or you can send it to me by the messenger or the SMS. You can actually send it by the you can actually send it by the messenger. Yes, do not send it by the SMS, because I think there is a problem with the pictures in there. There is a problem with the sending files. You can send the picture with the summary, guys. It must be again handwritten by you guys. Do not write it on a computer. Please write it with your hand. You have almost 2 weeks, so this is a really long time. So the deadline will be next Thursday, not this Thursday, because this Thursday is actually vacation because of Prophet's birth. So it will be next Thursday. Okay, guys, so we have almost 2 weeks. Of course, you can ask me any questions. I will again put the details on the SMS for you guys to know what should you do about the project. Okay? Okay, guys, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, see you next time.
Please
Bye.
end it.
Yes?
Bye.
Bye.